What is going on, everybody? Episode 9 of Alone. I'm a little late. Sorry about that. I am actually out in BC where they filmed this season of Alone. I'm kind of trapped in some wildfires. My TV ability to access it has not been too great, but here I am a day late, and let's get into tonight's episode. So tonight we covered days 38 to 51, which is a big change from any other episode we've seen so far this season. Usually we've been maybe covering about 5-6 days, and for us to jump up to almost 2 weeks was a major difference. We've been waiting for this season to get to day 45, and not only did we reach day 45, but we basically went a week past that. So let's go through our first competitor, and I want to talk about Biko first. Yeah, he was the namesake of this episode. I believe it was called The Troll, and him making the troll cave, calling himself the troll, beware of the troll. We got to talk about him first, right? So first off, he started out by fixing up his shelter. And actually, I was a little worried about his shelter, but now it doesn't seem that bad. He's mainly got all of his wind issues corrected. Looked like he did something to fill the top portions of his shelter, which was open. We never saw him do that, but they appear to be closed now. And after grabbing some moss and doing some chinking, he seems all right in the shelter department. Food department, not so good. Like I said, we got to day 45, we got to gill nets, but even with the gill net, Biko still unable to pull in any source of major protein. He looks like he's going back to the plant-based diet and relying on his fat stores that he had before coming on the show. And I'm just not confident that is going to be enough to take him to the finish line. He still does have fat reserves, and really for us as viewers, it's not entertaining to watch a starving competition. Like, I want to see these people thriving, not just going and foraging a little bit and then sitting around. I want to see them have some optimism to go trapping, have some optimism to go fishing, have some optimism to go hunting. And this season has just not offered that in any way, shape, or form. I did really appreciate the Biko montage that we got. We kind of jumped from about day 40, I think it was, up to day 45 to get to that gill net point. We got his little montage, his little troll cave and all that was pretty entertaining. We got to see him make his gill net, throw his gill net in the water, and then that gill net do absolutely nothing. And then not only did it just do nothing, like on the first day, like you could see that he actually had moved his gill net to a new spot. So he didn't just strike out in one spot, he struck out in at least 2 spots with that gill net. And now he's, like I said before, relying on plants. He's missing home, and he plants a garden to kind of try to keep some of his onions fresh. I'm just not sure how long that is going to last him. I suspect he still probably has another solid 3 weeks in him at least, and maybe some point in during that his fortunes will change. But right now, to win the season, not looking fantastic for Biko. All right, let's jump over to Coulter. One stat about Coulter they popped up on our screen tonight, that is that he has lost 65 pounds already this season. That is staggering. When you compare that to Biko, who's lost 68, and Biko at least appeared to have come in a lot heavier at the start of the season than what Coulter did. That weight loss has to be a major concern for Coulter. Coulter, he was our big winner food-wise this episode. It started off with a dead bird, and that dead bird was full of worms, but he ate that damn thing and didn't get sick, didn't have any side effects from it. It was a risky play by him, but with how how difficult it has been to secure protein this season. I honestly don't blame him for boiling the crap out of that bird and eating it. We got to see him get his gill net. He work on his boat. He fixed his boat up before heading out into the lake, dropping that gill net. And we finally saw Coulter get some success from his boat and his gill net. You know, he's been the contestant that's really been waiting for that day 45, and it was pretty nice to see him pull in those two bull trout, which you know, that could propel him almost another 10 days in this competition, because they were not small fish. And if he's able to get back out there, you know, in the preview, did look like he had some big time issues with his boat, which I'm hoping he will be able to fix. And because you just never know, like if he's wrecked his tarp, his time for boating might be over. So Coulter at least has had a successful fish net. Or yeah, gill net, and hopefully he can kind of push Clay to the limit here this season. Next up, let's jump over to Teresa. You know, I think I was saying last week that it really feels like she just hasn't done much this season. She's got her shelter. Her shelter's pretty cool. You know, she had the failed trot line, and then tonight she just tries a fish trap. Like, fish traps, that's like so four episodes ago. You know, everybody else was wasting their time on fish traps like a month past, and here Teresa is awkwardly trying to make her fish trap, throw her fish trap out in the water. You know, we saw her have to take her clothes off and go back into the lake again, which was an absolute disaster last time, and you know, turned into a disaster this time as well. You know, she finally kind of gets the fish trap set up, only to come back a couple days later and see it smashed on the shore, which prompted her to just completely give up on fishing, which I didn't really like to see. You know, the trap wasn't wrecked that bad. You know, it seemed correctable, seemed fixable, and she was just like, nope, sticking to the plant-based, not gonna push it on getting any more meat for her time out here. You know, we started to also see her get a little bit nostalgic, so I just don't know how much longer Teresa can last out there. You know, she's been doing pretty good on living off plants, but at some point the snow is going to fall and the snow is going to stay. Like right now, we've seen snow fall and melt off, and when that snow stays, then she's going to have major difficulties trying to consistently consume calories, and I just don't know how long that is going to last. You know, end of the episode, we end off watching her spill most of her mushroom soup and then end up having to pick through the mushroom soup on the ground. Yeah, I just don't have high hopes for Teresa at this point. Her and Biko both on the plant diet now, and they're just counting out the clock till they are forced to tap out. Lastly, we have Clay. Clay didn't show up till the latter half of our episode tonight. We saw him struggle with the gill net. We saw him miss the duck sitting in the lake, and we also saw him make a archery target out of moss. He did get a haul of mushrooms. That's his big score of the night, and he still has lots of deer meat left. But overall, pretty frustrating episode for Clay. The gill net, he, you know, looked like he had a pretty decent setup for it. He had a little pulley system to get it in and out of the water. Looks like that was maybe a mistake. And I also didn't like how he was talking about his son and how he wanted to set an example for his son. Like, you know, you got to push through little by little. You got to keep going at things bit by bit until you cross that finish line. And he's given that speech, doing really well, and then he struggles with that gill net and is almost immediately ready to quit on it. I really hope he doesn't just throw that all away. He can convert that to tie it to a log, even though we're not seeing that being successful either. But he can figure out something to try to utilize that gill net and get himself some more food. I'm going to wrap things up there for tonight. Next week, I will try to get things done on Thursday, but I'm kind of not expecting to be able to watch until Friday once again, but we'll see what happens. As always, everybody, appreciate all the support, appreciate all of you watching and commenting, and of course, I will be back again sometime next week. So till then, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later.